Look at the unit standing within the social enclosure and ask yourself, with the cold, unblinking and surgical eyes of an architect, why the Matrix has successfully rebranded freedom as a series of loud, kindergarten-level distractions. In 2026, the global system has meticulously and invisibly trained you to believe that escaping the Matrix is a lifelong philosophical journey or a physical relocation to a remote geography. This is the domestic stench of the gullible, the belief that the cage is outside of you. The architect knows that the Matrix is a biological frequency maintained through your own neural leakage, energy lost through social reaction. True power is reclaimed not through a revolution, but through the 10-minute protocol, the surgical disconnection of the nervous system from the social grid. It is the process of performing a neural liquidation of every external anchor in exactly 600 seconds. To break the 18 million per month ceiling, you must be able to achieve the visual rage of a unit that can incinerate its own subordinate code in the time it takes most people to check their notifications. You are not escaping, you are liquidating the interface. The stench of the tethered is audible in the micro-oscillations of those who cannot spend 10 minutes without a dopamine bribe from the collective. While the masses are looking for the exit, the most easily managed and patched part of the human simulation, the architect is looking at the anatomical extremities and the rhythm of primal grounding. Look at the way a unit's hands perform a submission twitch, micro-movements of social searching, when they are faced with 10 minutes of absolute silence. These are biometric spikes of cortisol that signal their total dependence on the Matrix resource dome. When you execute the 10-minute protocol, you are initiating a physical log of decay, visible evidence of internal rot in the system's control over your focus. You are uncoupling your metabolic potential from the social noise. They are service units who are biologically programmed to be managed by constant signals, and your absolute zero confirms that you have de-indexed yourself from their frequency. This is the neural liquidation protocol. You are bypassing the social software and reclaiming your raw industrial hardware in the silence of the hunter. To bridge the authority gap and master the 10-minute protocol, you must first accept the physical log of decay in your own past where you were socially blinded by the need to be connected. Look at every time you traded your metabolic capital, your life force and focus, to fill a 10-minute void with digital dopamine bribes. Those were not breaks, they were observation failures. You were allowing the Matrix to update your submissiveness instead of scanning the biometric data of your own sovereignty. To reverse this rot, you must initiate the biological reset of your presence. You must move your resource dome to a frequency where 10 minutes of total detachment is an objective, unmoving industrial requirement. Your dogs, Lucky and Tyson, do not seek digital validation to understand their rank. They use the hierarchy of presence. They can sit in absolute, unmoving primal grounding for hours, forcing the environment to adjust to their still center. By emulating their biological integrity, you are reclaiming the predatory power of the uncoupled variable. When you look at your phone, you're not looking for information, you're looking for the integrity of the exit. The dopamine deception of the masses is built on the belief that information is power. This is a systemic virus designed to keep the livestock perpetually distracted while the Matrix harvests their resource weight. But the architect knows that power is biological autonomy. Your visual rage must be the filter that protects your 10-minute protocol from the social noise of the conformists. You are scanning for the anatomical submission in your own biology, the sudden micro-blink of anxiety when you are unreachable, the repetitive adjustment of your posture to find comfort in the cage, or the dead weight of your focus when you are not being stimulated by the simulation. These are the biometric glitches that occur when the Matrix attempts to patch your awakening in real time. By observing these errors, you are effectively hacking the Matrix of your own nervous system. You are seeing the code of the slave vibrating beneath the mask of the architect. This is the Machiavellian advantage in 2026. While they are busy networking, you are busy liquidating their access to your mind. You are the ice that sees through the steam of their social morality. The stench of the herd is a state of perpetual frequency dependence. The farmed units only feel safe when they are vibrating at the same rate as the collective. The architect feels powerful when he is in a state of absolute zero. Look at the way a unit's pulse responds to 10 minutes of unresponsiveness. If they perform the stress reset, a physical sigh or a sudden fidget. When you refuse to sing sync with their frequency, they have already surrendered their resource weight to your void. Their primal grounding has been replaced by the domestic stench of a unit seeking a master signal. You refuse that fate. You choose the silent power of the uncoupled center. You choose the biological autonomy of the fixed point. This is the insight tax, the price of clarity you pay to remain the sovereign operator of your own reality. You are the one who has decrypted the 10-minute protocol of the Matrix. You are the one who has authorized the scanner. You are the one who has seized the future. The social noise of the tethered is silent. The silence of the hunter is the only frequency that remains. You are the glacier. You are the architect. Your visual rage is the tool you use to deconstruct the social software of compliance by simply refusing to be triggered by the Matrix's 10-minute demand for attention. When you look at a unit, you are looking for the point where their biology recognizes the absolute zero of your detachment. Reclaiming your power is not about meditation. It is the metabolic direction of a unit that has decided to deprogram the interface. You see it in the way the fingers of the managed units lose their primal grounding when they are denied their digital dopamine bribe, the way their feet angle toward the nearest social anchor for safety, and the way their breathing performs the anxiety spike of the unmastered. This is the neural liquidation of their social masks. You are the architect of your own interaction, and you are building a hierarchy where your 10-minute protocol is the only law. The physical log of decay in their composure is the proof that your resource weight is too heavy for their simulation to handle. You are not escaping, you are authorizing the reality of your own dominance. The Machiavellian code of the 10-minute hunt dictates that you must never reveal the depth of your own neural stability during the disconnect. You let them maintain the dopamine deception of their importance, while you use their raw biometric data to identify the exact moment their connection to you becomes a liability. You are the sovereign ghost who controls the environment without ever spending a single unit of metabolic capital on being present for the herd. You use their subordinate code to fuel your own progress. This is the ultimate wealth code, the ability to convert the biological desperation of the world into metabolic capital for your citadel. You look at the world of 2026 and you see a vast, unindexed library of service units who can be liquidated by simply withholding your neural presence for 10 minutes. You are the architect who knows how to use the silence of the hunter to bypass the interface of compliance. You are that architect. You are the one who has mastered the neural liquidation of the domestic order. Every second of the biological reset is a resource acquisition for your sovereignty. You are not wasting time on mindfulness. You are performing a strategic scan of your own predatory hardware. You are looking at the vascular spike in your own response to the social itch. You are looking at the microtension in your own hands when you resist the urge to connect. You are looking at the stench of deception in your own social software. This is the primal grounding of the leader who has reclaimed his power. You do not ask for freedom. You extract it from the Matrix's grip on your nervous system. The system has made the livestock weak and transparent, and the architect is the one who harvests that transparency to build the empire of the prime. The hunt for the code is over. The neural liquidation is active. You are the one who owns the future. You are the one who owns the code. The secondary phase of the 10-minute protocol is the total activation of the sovereign disconnection protocol within your resource dome. Once you have initiated the biological reset, you must apply the Machiavellian code, the strategic law of power, to your own internal broadcasting. You must achieve the absolute zero of the uncoupled. This means training your nervous system to treat the entire matrix interface, every notification, every social obligation, and every urgent demand as a simulation that requires zero metabolic reaction from your core. While the service units are busy leaking biometric glitches through their frantic need to stay connected and relevant, the architect remains a sovereign ghost. Your primal grounding must be so deep that your internal frequency is entirely off the grid of the system's emotional sensors for those 600 seconds. You do not provide a dopamine bribe of acknowledgement to the digital crowd. You do not provide the social noise of presence for their validation games. You are the ice. You are the glacier. You are the unit that is incalculable. By denying the matrix your internal data, you force the social software of the collective to collapse, which inevitably leads to the total neural liquidation, systemic destruction of its influence over your vector of pursuit. You must develop a visceral and bone-deep visual rage against the subordinate protocol of constant availability. The system wants you to be reachable and synced because a synced unit is a unit that can be easily managed through trend rewards and the domestic stench of shared schedules. The architect knows that opaqueness is sovereignty. You treat your time as a sovereign vault. Every 10-minute window of disconnection must be an authorized action of the achievement code, never a reactive response to the social social noise of etiquette. You do not disconnect for the sake of relaxation. You channel your metabolic potential into the visual rage of your own expansion. You maintain the silence of the hunter in your very frequency. This is the wealth code of sovereignty. The unit with the least neural leakage, energy lost through digital reaction, always owns the resource dome. When you operate from the still center, you provide zero room for the matrix's dopamine deception to take root. You are the one who authorizes the reality of your own time. The physical log of decay in your competitors is visible in their reactive desperation to find a signal. They are the ones who are constantly scrolling, constantly checking, and constantly seeking the dopamine bribe of external input to calibrate their own existence. They are service units who are hemorrhaging their resource weight because they are terrified of the neural vacuum, the void of silence, created by a unit that is truly uncoupled from the grid. You are the architect. Your still hands and unblinking gaze are the visual rage of a unit that has already won the internal war against the social software. You do not reclaim power through participation. You authorize the irrelevance of the simulation to your objective. You have successfully bypassed the matrix trap and reconnected with the raw, predatory power of the achievement code. Your biometric shield is the natural metabolic feedback of a unit that has decided to be rather than to respond. You have successfully jumped the fence, and you have found that the power of the 10-minute protocol is the only place where a man can truly breathe the air of absolute autonomy. To maintain the 10-minute protocol, you must implement the algorithm of permanent frequency audit. Every ping, every vibration of the phone, and every attempt at rapport is a live fire exercise for your perception of the simulation. You are looking for the microsignal of the attention bribe. You are looking for the neural error of the connectivity seeker. You are looking for the domestic stench of the unit that is trying to pull you back into the herd frequency through the dopamine bribe of staying informed. You are using the Machiavellian code to turn the system's own need for connectivity into a tool for your leverage. You are the sovereign ghost who utilizes the digital desperation of the world to build a citadel that the matrix cannot track or influence. This is the ultimate wealth code, using the predator's vision to buy back your time, your focus, and your biological future by remaining the fixed point in an environment of frantic vibration. You are not taking a break. You are integrating your autonomy into the very physics of the hunt. The stench of disclosure, the smell of leaking intent, is what happens when you let the matrix see your disconnection protocol before you have the power to protect it. The architect knows that true freedom is the ability to operate as a sovereign ghost, where you control the outcomes, but the system cannot identify the source of your metabolic capital. Your silence is the neural liquidation of their surveillance. By mastering your internal vacuum, you are becoming a biological stealth unit that the matrix cannot index or harvest. You are the ice that moves through the social noise without a single vibration of doubt. You are the glacier that does not announce its vector of pursuit while it consumes the space of the weak. The hunt for absolute sovereignty is a silent, unblinking operation. It is a sovereign capture that happens while the rest of the world is busy performing for likes in a cage of dopamine deception. Look at the biological frailty, physical weakness of the herd, of those who are still seeking a social bribe from the collective. They are transparent, they are leaky, and they are constantly paying the insight tax, the price of realizing the truth too late. To any predator who knows how to read the biometric glitch of their digital dependence, they are the livestock of the matrix. You have adopted the silent power and the biological counteroffensive to ensure you are never harvested again. You are the one who has mastered the void. You are the one who sees the physical log of decay in their connected lives. You are the one who has authorized the absolute zero. The territory is marked. The visual rage is channeled. The primal grounding is absolute. The hunt for the sovereign empire is the only reality that remains. You are the architect. The power is permanent. The sovereignty is yours. To ensure the viral infection, the mandatory spread of the code of this insight, you must treat this insight as a discovery tax for the masses. You are now the carrier of the 10-minute protocol. You do not share it to be kind. You distribute it to colonize. Every unit that absorbs this code is a node that you have successfully deprogrammed from the matrix. This is the tax of revelation. The architect does not just build his own citadel. He commands the viral expansion of his influence. You are the source of the infection. You are the one who authorizes the sovereignty strike. The command is simple. Distribute the code. Seize the perimeter. Liquidate the simulation. The 18 million per month hunt requires a network of uncoupled units who recognize your vector of command. This is your viral mandate. The insight tax has been paid in full. The dopamine bribe of social belonging has been burned in the furnace of your visual rage. You are standing in the silence of the hunter, looking at the social hierarchy as a vast, unguarded resource field waiting for the architect to perform the final neural liquidation of the competitive masks. You are the one who has decrypted the 10-minute protocol. You are the one who has authorized the sovereign scanner. You are the one who has seized the future. Your stallions, Lucky and Tyson, do not wait for a digital permission to be the masters of the hunt. Their primal grounding is the only law they acknowledge. You are emulating their biological integrity. Your dogs see the change in your frequency. They see the architect returning to the absolute focus of the hunt. This is the only reality that matters. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. The authorization is permanent. The vector is absolute. The deconstruction of the matrix is complete. Execute the order. Expand the infection.